number on the listing.
All right. So King trades strictly gold, and just in case you have some questions about gold analysis. So, does anybody have a perspective? I want to hear other people's perspective on gold. What do you think gold is going to do? Now, there is this expectation that okay, price is going to tap, is going to retrace at a particular point, right, and then start retracing up. Do you think price is going to hit 3,500, or do you think gold is going to have a deeper retracement? What do you think, Khalid? Um, Enoch, Alfred, Shay, Uche, what do we think about gold?
Um, from my own perspective, I actually think good is going to retrace
You think it's going to
because
retrace back up, right?
yes, it's going to retrace because there's an other block at the top that I feel price should actually sell from.
Okay,
Let me see if I can share my screen.
all right.
Um,
So you have an order block of interest above.
yes, that has tapped already as of last week.
Okay, okay.
Um, complete. So can everybody see my screen, please?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Mm, okay. No,
Nigerian network.
I don't know. It's actually taking time to load.
Network.
You notice that trading view, it takes different kind of network to open trading view. Apparently.
Network.
All right. Ah, no.
Oh, we will soon buy Starlink. Everybody will use Starlink now.
Menu, MTN frustrated.
The thing is that only that you never use because what we do on it is from what they're charging us. You know that bro, do I want to use that?
All right. Can everybody still see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right. So gold is kind of bearish at the moment overall. Is very very obvious from the price trend, and I like the trend line that Mr. King earlier drew. I didn't even take note of that trend line at first, but that trend line is actually very beautiful. But I think if you still look at it this way, I think that trend line like it's aligned with this other block to an extent. Let me see if I can still draw out that particular trend line.
True.
Let me see if I can still pull out that trend line. So normally trend line, trend line does not, sometimes price will actually just weak the trend line, then continue in particular direction, and you can see even later come back to still break through. So like Bratofin was actually saying, from what I'm seeing here, after since price has dumped already, we can see that it has actually, I don't know why it's hanging. It has, that sell has actually taken out very very major lows, like very major higher lows on the chart already. So I feel it's actually coming to an exhaustion, if you want to like go back to 3499, that is somewhere around this point here, somewhere around here. That's this other block here at the top.
You are looking to see price get to that block, right? Looking to see price get to
Price you see buy from this other block is somewhere around here. I think this is what level is this? What level is
can
this?
you be having to
Uh, yeah, I'm hearing you.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Okay, so I think price we buy from this other block is actually reacting to, if you buy to somewhere around the top right here, and once it gets here, I feel then those cells that we're actually looking for, those major cells will actually now come in, then the whole trend line liquidity will now be taken out. So I feel gold will actually sell to somewhere around here, where this liquidity will finally now be taken out. Then when we get here, we will now actually know if price will now actually continue the sell on the higher time frame. Because if we actually look at it from the daily, it's as if price is still like struggling to break downwards to the downside. Yeah, price is still like struggling to, you will notice that there are some kind of like weak moves, some weak, let me go to the daily time frame. Yeah, so this other block down here, if price now actually feels he wants to buy, I feel this is where price will actually now react from this zone here, from this zone here.
Now, do you see how that so many things at that zone? Do you think that's the whole again?
Yeah, I feel those two parts will actually be used as liquidity, because it's more like double bottom if you look at it. And normally SMC will tell you that those double bottoms are mostly where areas of liquidity are, because that's where most liquidity as inducements before we now see those massive pushes to the upside.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So that means
So that's just my point of view.
it's a price to of especially
Yes,
coming back down, that's
that's just my point of view.
alright, okay. Let me get other things
Okay.
because it makes sense for people to actually like see those sales as a concern to actually see the possibility of alpha. Before we get
Okay, I'll see my screen now.
alright.
When would you see the position when the weekly? So on the extra, I'm actually looking for lower prices
So
to take
everyone
this low.
mute. We are kind of getting feedback.
Yeah,
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
can you?
Yeah, please help us. We are having feedback from you. Enoch too.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, continue. If you get feedback from my own mic, let me know
okay.
so that I can mute myself.
All right. No, it's fine now.
All right.
So on the XY, on the weekly, because I'm a day trader, so I actually look at the charts on the weekly basis. So on the weekly, I'm looking for this weekly low to be taken. So if you go to the daily charts, we'll see that
XY, okay. All right.
yeah, this is the XY.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see that there's like an FVG here above price,
Okay.
which I want price to tap into and then go lower to attack this low here.
All right.
So on the 4 hour, this is what it looks like.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's divided. The LVG is actually divided into multiple LVGs on the 4 hour, but basically what I'm looking for is this next week, just a little push up into the zone. So when it gets into the zone, I'm going to go down to the lower time frame, look for my entry criterias, then write it down to this load here. So that's what I'm looking for on DXY, and it actually matches um my analysis on AU too. Because EU last week
Okay.
it tapped into this fair value gap here.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't close below it, so that's a bullish sign.
Yeah.
And then on the daily, same thing as DXY. Let me remove this one.
Okay.
We have this FVG here on the daily chart. So same thing. Look for price to tap into this fair value gap here and go higher to attack this side here. So if you go lower to the forward time frame, doing exact thing. Yeah.
Okay. So you are
I'll,
expecting. Oh, nice. Lovely.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So that's just it. Very simple. But the only problem I now have is GBP because
Yeah.
GBP sold
GU.
a lot. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It sold a lot last week
Yeah. Actually. Right.
from this parallel gap here.
Mm-hmm. I will not be surprised actually if you GBP USD tries to push it to be lower higher and then come back down. But
Mm,
we'll see how it goes. I like those sales are very concerning. So I'm looking.
exactly. So I'm I might just wait for Monday's trading or Tuesday's F to play out before taking any trade on
To
GU. Yeah.
uh,
So yeah, it doesn't look very nice right now. But on EU and DXY,
okay.
EU I'm looking for bullish prices, and DXY looking for lower prices, and that's it.
I'm looking for more buys on YouTube, but I don't know. I want to wait for price to see for the deep lower that you said. I'm going to wait for that to happen. I'll see what if price wants to continue. Okay, but then GU is at an area of interest. Like there's a demand zone where it has gotten to, and it has reacted, and on the normal day you would expect our price is going to go up, but then because of the way sellers are coming in, I'm trying to stay away from that. So if there's a demand, do you know that? Go back to EU first. Let me show you something.
EU, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't think price is going to go lower than the low that it's reacted from? Okay, go to daily time frame.
Daily time frame, yeah.
Um,
Hold on. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. First off, the buys are interesting. I like what is happening. So you still think um there's going to be a downward push before going up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Monday, Tuesday to begin the week first.
Okay. All right.
At least to these levels here.
All right. All right. Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm looking for EU. I want to see I can capitalize on the buyers coming in for EU. So I'm gonna watch out for that. By the way, I love
Mm.
how clear your chat is. Thank you very much. You
Thank
use
you.
ICT, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. ICT.
Okay. I can guess. Or I can see your chat is also similar to his. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you so much. I always love
All
your
right.
presentation. Your presentations are always clean and straight to the point. Bro, that's
Yeah, exactly. I don't try to complicate it.
okay.
But,
That's good. That's good.
yeah, thank you.
So Alfred, what's your I know you and
Okay,
I think you should speak on good first before you move to KXY.
on good now.
Yeah.
Okay, is my entire screen showing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me start from weekly time frame.
Okay.
So this is the this is the swing high.
Okay.
This is the swing low, right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the swing low. Everything inside these points are internal structures. So that means if we come to the daily time frame, we are actually trading between these points and these points. And um, this low right here, this low, as if you get a very deep retracement, so far gold broke out of this previous high that we have here, this previous high that we have here. That means this low is a very strong low, and we have not yet gotten a deep retracement back to a strong demand level. Like the major demand is right here on gold. Can't overlook that. So it's possible that gold can buy, can sell all the way back to this point at the long run and then buy. Then, if you now look at what is happening in the internal structure, what we have in the internal structure here. So let me first draw my fib to confirm something, which will be we already have a run from this point to this point inside the internal structure. We have a high, then we have a low inside the structure, which should be this. So we have this low right here. This is the low. So I used to confirm something, which is let me draw my fib from this point to this point. My extreme supply level is usually 88.6. That is my extreme supply level.
Okay.
So most times, if price has not yet tapped down my 88.6 level, I still used to have that mindset that market will still eventually get to that high, that premium supply level before it sells back to a demand, or price might just follow the trend and violate the supply level, then break out from the current high that we have. So I've already verified that. Then I'll now shit. Then I'll now come to my internal structures. I'm sorry guys. I'll now come to my internal structures and look at what is happening in my internal structure. Sorry, just give me a minute. Let me
All right.
tell you question I'm meeting. Yeah. Yeah. Moving on. So looking at the internal structure bar, this eye has not been taken out, but right now we have this is a swing eye. This is a leg. This is a swing eye, swing low. And since it is an internal structure, the only time you can expect a swing, right, is when you have a body close below the external structure. But inside the internal structure, you can still consider the wick above the level as a structural break. So I would take this as another high. I would take this as another low. which is this right here. So I've already seen that, okay, inside the internal structure, right, we are still bullish. That is from this leg to this leg and from this leg
Okay.
to this leg.
Yeah.
So we have another internal structure inside this point. So that means everything we are trading is from this leg to this leg. So me, I like I said, I think last 2 weeks back, I think what makes me my psychology is that I feel like if we are trying to make trading a little bit too hard, like giving too much sense, that is where problem starts from. And if we try to keep this thing simple, I will see this as inside my internal structure. When this one came here, we have a leg from this point to this point, which is one. We have another leg from this point now to this point inside this internal structure, but it did not take out this side, right?
Mm-hmm.
It did not take out this side. But what happened is that it shifted structure from this particular point, this swing high right here, because 1, 2, 3. So there's a swing high here, it broke it to this fair value gap.
Yeah.
And it's actually reasonable for price to come back to that area to continue with the longs. Probably it will definitely break out this high. That is an assumption. So for me, if this particular trend came back to right, and it's actually very close to this low. The ideal thing, looking at the general trend on gold is a buy trend. So what you should be looking out for on gold, like ideal thing to actually look out for me to be look out for a buy because we have another low from here to here. And it has already come on 4 hours time frame. I move my 4 hours time frame. It has already come to my demand, my
Yeah.
88.6 demand level. Already started. Now, I'm not saying that um, market has to do what I'm trying to say there. I'm just following, okay, the simple analogy that, okay, price and supply structure, it should come back in the place to continue with the what, with the buys, what you should normally expect. From here, you can now go to your 1 hour time frame. You realize that when market is at your demand, it's going to form a high, right?
Yeah.
It's going to form a low. And on your 1 hour time frame, this is the most recent lower high. I do think to wait for. This is the most recent lower high. So since this is my most recent lower high, and I have a lower low here, which is from 1, 2, 3, this new candle here, two low here, this is the swing high. If I see inside, from this structure to this structure, it will start creating another internal structure, right? Now, for me, since price has already come here back, price has already sold here, all the way here. If I want to sell, the first thing I'll be looking at for is will price, will the market body close below this point, or even if I see a weak here, then I can start targeting supply level somewhere around here to continue with the trend. That is for short. Now, so far this low is still very well active. I don't have any business with selling goods as of now, and I will expect price to like okay take out this high. Then once price takes out this high, then I will expect a retracement. That's when I'll now go to like my lower time frame, like 5 minutes. So if I get a breakout of this high now and I see a retracement, then I can go to my 5 minutes and wait for a structure shift, retracement, and then take the buy. So if I'm taking my long position here, no problem. I can have a very tight stop loss, something like this. And I can now this is where it is ideal for us now, target the next high. So I can target either this zone or this zone. So now for the bearish sentiments now. So for me, it is ideal to look for a buy here, just because of the basic way I'm seeing structure. Now, if I now want to now look for sales, maybe when markets now get here, let me show you a very perfect example of 4 hours. Like I explained the last time we talked. If you look at this leg to this leg, you will notice that the previous leg was from this point to this point. Now look at what happened. This was a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. Look at when markets got to this point right here. Ideally, the buy from here was supposed to take out this high.
Mm.
and continue with this trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you are now going to look for sales inside this internal structure, look at when price now got here, we now have from this one, two, three, we have a swing low here. We have another one, two, three. We have a swing low here. What happened? Market now, instead of market to buy, it now shifted structure. Rated this particular low with a fair value gap. What should you be looking out for? The retracement was to continue the sell. And you can now sell from zone to zone. Like you can sell from this point to this point here. There's a low here. So probably you would have gotten out at a demand level here. So that is exactly what I will look out for also around here. So for me, it would be ideal to wait on my 1 hour time frame. Maybe if market binds to somewhere like here, then I'll wait for market to form a particular swing low on gold. Then I'll wait for it to wait out that swing low. Then I can wait for a retracement to a supply zone here. Then if you are selling from here now, let's say you are selling from here, but let's say you are selling from here, then you can just minimize your loss. And so far, this particular eye retains, it can target the next demand. Then you can just sell from zone to zone. Then when you now get down your clear break of structure out of this leg from this point to this point, then you can now start targeting more sales on good. So where the problem comes now from, like from executing your entry bar, like maybe you are scared to buy from here, it's probably when you're not considering how much you are risking. I feel like it is when we risk too much, or maybe when we have this idea that one trade is going to take buy us Lambo, that is when we are scared of like maybe executing trade. But to me, I feel like it is ideal to actually opt on the buys from here and take it to somewhere maybe around here. And if you get a cheap construction and invest, then maybe you can take it back to this segment. So that's what I'm
All right.
looking at for on gold
All right.
this week.
That's
Yeah,
that's good. That's fine.
yeah.
All right. So I mean, nobody's looking at the possibility of gold buying, going deeper and buying.
Back to the high. Book high bar.
No, like no one is looking for the possibility of price going deeper and then buying. But then that makes sense. That is actually a very uh, um, perfect area of interest, right? But we'll see how this week goes for gold, right? So what about DXY? What do you think about DXY? And then USD CAD
Okay,
and GU and then EU.
okay. For DXY on weekly time frame, I let's start from monthly time frame on DXY. So I first identify my swing highs and swing lows. So for dollar, you realize that this was the previous high. So this was the previous leg on dollar. This high and this particular low here. This was the previous leg here. So now from this point to this point, price shifting structure. So for me, this is my major swing high. This is my major swing low, and every other thing here is what an internal structure for me from here. So now, if you look to this your left, you know that okay, we are still like actively what bullish. So this might just be a retracement. So most times we don't always know where the original demand level will be. So for me now, I will make an assumption that the major demand level should be at my what 88.6 level, and it might take a while, but I market will still maybe eventually push down to this area. That is an assumption. It doesn't necessarily mean that market is going to
Mm.
get there. So I'll now scroll down to my, let's just skip the weekly and go to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you notice that we have lower highs and lower lows. Now we are trading in between this point and this point, and this is the internal structure that we have here. So going to 4 hours time frame, what happened? This particular market bar, when it got to this level, it's gave corrective bias to a supply. It gave corrective bias to a supply, and from that supply level, it shifted structure and it started selling. It sold to this point. So from this internal structure now, if you are going to look at how the market move inside the internal structure, we have this. This is one point, and then this is another point. This is another point. Then this will be another point here. So, and that is where we are. we currently have. This point and this point, I'll draw it like this. Yeah.
Okay.
So this looks like market just going to come and tap liquidity here and it's moving. But then I used to say something that you look at the buys that is coming. These buys now they are looking very well corrective and currently it's at a supply. So ideally what would have made sense, just like what I said on gold, what would have made sense is that you have this is a let's go to 2 hours so that it's very clear on 2 hours time frame. This is a structure shift, right? This is a structure shift, and right around when markets was coming back to the down part, there was no reasonable shift of structure actually until it got to this point. And what is you since price is like has been bullish, although we have a very strange price alright, but price has been bullish. We have the structure shift. Price came back to retest a probably demand level, maybe somewhere around there. Price came to come and retest somewhere around there. Bah? So what you should have looked out for now is probably this point. We have these three candles here, where we have this swing low right here. And luckily, we have the swing guy too. Let me draw it out. That is, you look at it very well with hindsight. You look at this point, one, you look at this point, three. If you go to 15 minutes time frame, you'll notice that there's a structure shift here, price came back to retest this particular level. And if you go to 5 minutes time frame, there'll be a structure shift too on the lower time frame. So ideally, if you are taking your long position, where should you opt out? You should opt out in the what? In the recent high or probably a supply close to that high. So now that you've already missed out on this point, it is if you get a retracement from this supply now, I would it will since this high is still protected and it do not take it out. If DXY continues selling back from there, there's every probability that it will take out this move and continue probably to go and target another demand, maybe the 88.6 level of this move, which will be somewhere around there before it now eventually take out this high right here. So what I'll wait for on dollar this week is I'll be very careful. I'll wait for DXY to actually now take out this high. I'll wait for it to take out this high, like maybe a clear breakout. Then any retracement that is coming back would be like an opportunity for me to buy. Once it retraces back to demand and I see a slight structure shift, then you can buy DXY probably to the next level here, somewhere around here. So that's what I'll be looking at for. And it's very possible for market to shift out from this zone, retest and sell. So everything happening inside this point now, I'll run away from it.
Alright.
I'm not interested in anything here like this anymore. Until I see a clear breakout from that part, that's when I'll now be looking out for either to buy or to sell. So that is what I have on DXY. Then on USD card, very simple. On daily time frame, I've already missed the opportunity to buy. I've already missed the opportunity
I saw
to
that
buy.
opportunity actually since last weeks ago. I drew the demand, but I decided not to take it because
I just
of I wanted to see how the buyers are going to come in. But it looks like they look clean. So if I find another
yes.
opportunity, I'm going to take it. Already, it's created a demand before pushing up. So if price comes back to that demand, then we'll actually take it.
Okay. So for me, I think it makes sense. The reason why I'm choosing USD card is I think it makes sense for the next 4 months. You can catch something very like reasonable on USD card. Which is if you look at weekly time frames on USD card, you realize that this from this leg, that's why I love what I'm saying on USD card. You see, from this leg to this leg, this is the major swing leg. This is the major swing line. I know I said something that it might take long for the market to retrace back to it, but it's always come back. That's the funniest thing. It will come back. That is rubbish. So it came back and tapped that it is consistent in my feed. So this already showed me that on the long run, we can have a major pullback in the supply zone on USD card. And it's something that you can literally buy and leave it or target this next high right here. It makes sense to do that.
Okay.
So on let's just keep to 4 hours time frame or okay daily time frame. Daily time frame is now very obvious that okay, we have from this leg to this leg. So maybe if you want to swing this trade, it actually makes sense for USD card to clearly break out of this zone. Like if it breaks out from this zone, then we are going to have a corrective move, probably deep into this one. Once we have that corrective move on the smaller time frame, once you see that three candle or like swing low, and then see a swing high, once it takes it out and it tests it, it actually makes sense for you to long your position on USD card
Yeah, it does.
and then reduce your stop and target either this high or target the next high. Then if you want to swing your trade, then you cannot wait for maybe this. But what makes sense the most is target this next maybe a supply level around you,
Yeah.
and then just leave your trade to play out. I feel like this trade will play out perfectly. Then rather than cracking your brain looking for where to find it, you just ignore everything that is happening here. Look for that trade breakout and then and up on the trade. So that's what I have on USD card.
All right, that's fine.
And
Then
last
G.
one, okay, G, okay, you talk about. Okay, so on Geneva, um, let's go to monthly time frame. Okay, so on G now, currently this is the swing high. Although it's not yet perfect because it has not yet formed three candles. One, two, we need one more candle here to confirm the swing high. But we can still on daily time frame. This is already like a swing high, so we can still mark this zone and this zone. So this is the major leg that we have on Geo. Then moving to weekly time frame. Okay. Then daily time frame. Okay, on my weekly time frame, I saw something. Um, this leg to this leg. Okay, so we are in between this point and this point. So let me mark it. Yeah. Then daily time frame. Okay. So we have this now on Geo, which is this point to this point. Then we had look at what we have here. If you look at the daily time frame now, we have we have a swing low here. We have because this is the lowest. This particular candle has the lowest swing point within these three candles, and it's funny enough. We now have it's also at the highest swing point here. So this is like a breakout and a retest on GU. What is the major trend? Is a bullish trend. So let's go to 4 hours time frame. Now on 4 hours time frame on GU, we have this internal structure. There's a point from here to here. So let's scale down to 2 hours. Then if you draw your fib now from this point to this point on 2 hours time frame, it's retraced exactly towards the 88.6 points on my fib. So it makes sense for you to just and we already have that three candle from there, 1, 2, 3, where this is the lowest low right here. And this high, if GU does not violate this high, if we just have like some maybe corrective move on around this point on 2 hours time frame, by the time you see a shift of structure around this point, if it breaks out of this high from here and then it comes back, then the next shift of structure on lower time frame, you can actually based on the trend though, you can actually reach the long position and tighten your stop loss then target this particular high
All right.
or supply there. That is what I would just say. And if you want to look for the sell on 2 hours time frame, since this thing is already close to a major single, it actually makes sense for you to just wait for this thing to actually structure. Then any retreat move, you can be catching it. That is because that is what I would say on Geo. It makes sense to wait for that or from this move. Yeah, but it's still very well risky because it has to come and tap a demand and then just fly up from there. But I think your confirmation will always be a structure sheet. Like if you're looking to sell from this zone now, let's say you have from this point to this point now, you are focusing on this structure and you are like ignoring everything that is here. You can wait for a structure sheet here, wait for retracement to your supply, and it is still your risk that will matter. So if you are shorting position from here, then your stop loss can be as tight as this. Because if you violate this high, signify a trend shift, then if you be looking for buy, then you can now target the next low. So that's what I think on Geo
All right.
for this week.
Then what about EU?
EU,
I know
okay,
you've not traded EU, I guess.
yes, I saw it too on fast and free. Okay, on EU, there's a left shoulder here. So for me, I'll just be looking for a potential right shoulder at this point. So I don't, that means I won't be expecting, and since this area, this is a point A, point B, point C, point D, that is a significant level for me, which is a market. So if price should break above, like if price should break above this area, because let me go to 2 hours. Yeah, on EUVA, if price should actually break above this area, if I'm buying, I would I would note this area very well on EU, because if it forms that left shoulder, I would anticipate it to form that left shoulder, then create like a swing low within that point, shift structure, test and sell off. That's what I look out for on EU. But let me quickly do something. So let me quickly do something. This, and funny enough, look at 4 hours. Let's go to 4 hours. On EU, this low has been taken out. This low has been taken out because this is an internal structure. If you look at it very well, this is the major swing points. Point one and point two. That's the major swing points. This is an internal structure, and this low has already been taken out of my internal structure, and I have a very strategic level here. So since that low has been taken out, I will just be looking out for liquidity sweep on my 1 hour time frame. I'll wait for this high to be swept. If it sweeps this high, then I'll target probably a supply zone somewhere around there, which actually matches my where I want a left shoulder to come. So I'll just wait for probably a sweep of these points, then wait for future structural retest and then sell off. My stop loss will just be above this high. So yeah. But everything depends on dollar. If DXY should break above this level this week,
All
if
right.
it breaks above this level, then we are going to target more high. And it makes sense that you would just sell off from here, right from where it is.
Sure.
But if DXY decides to go and find another demand level here, somewhere around here, then it will correlate with you going back to go and find what a supply zone where it can just what
Launch.
tank.
All right.
Yeah, yeah,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah.
That's
So
I
that's
think
it.
that's I think that's all the pairs we'll be able to cover today. Right. So
Okay.
I will do the same thing next week, right? By God's grace. Just are like majorly the pairs that a lot of people trade. So we'll just try and cover all those next week. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody that turned up. Kali, thank you for staying all the way to the end. I appreciate it. Alfred, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. So for
You're
next week
welcome.
again, we'll come again.